Sunday, January 21st, and the Dome Plumbers podcast is back. And I'm your host, Christian Kruger, here as always with Neil Mieski and Brian Dorton. And we are just lifelong Astros fans that love to talk about the Astros. So, boys, let's go. Episode 37, it'll be titled the Josh Hader episode. Man, just when we think the offseason is in its doldrums and nothing going on, something happens and cannot wait to discuss it. That'll be the majority of what we talk about tonight. It's exciting. It's cool
Did we
stuff to
sign
have
somebody?
leading into. Oh,
Is that
yeah,
what
we're
happened?
getting at them. Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Our title sponsor, obviously, as always, is Two Gringos Chupacabra. Look them up at twogringoschupacabra.com. That's the number 2, gringoschupacabra.com. They sent out a ton of fan favorites for the last couple of weeks. Here they are right here. We'll do something on social media. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, or we have some answers that Neil usually does on TikTok or Facebook. And we will send one out once a week. They pick a winner. We pick a winner off that, and they send this to your door. Pretty cool stuff. It's 5 different season on rubs. As we said, you can go on to gringoschupacabra.com. You can still put in Dome 15 and get 15% off. We thank you to the fine people there. Boys,
100% satisfaction rate on that, by the way.
Yes, no doubt. We have documented how close we were to the luxury tax, how we have no payroll room. Then Kendall Graveman goes down and blows out his elbow. And we are assuming that there's going to be a trade piece or something going on. And then all of a sudden, I sent a text message to you guys, I believe on Thursday, just saying, hey, Ken Rosenthal, who's a Major League Baseball national reporter, pretty plugged in, says that we're heavy in talks with Josh Hader. I'll be completely honest. I'm not sure I really believed it.
Right.
I thought it could be agent talk. Didn't see how we were going to do it. And then by the time 24 hours happens, the Astros signed the best left-handed pitcher and one of the best relievers in baseball, former Astros farmhand, Josh Hader, for 5 years and $95 million. We are officially going over the luxury tax again. I have no problem with it. It's not my money or Neil's money or Brian's money. It's Jim Crane's money. I was always going to believe it when I saw it. Here we are.
Now you see it.
Let's throw this around the three of us and let's talk about it. But all I can say really is wow. Neil?
Yeah.
Give me your thoughts.
I mean, and we've talked about this a little bit before on Josh Hader being an Astros farmhand and what we got when we traded him way back in the day. And it's a little frustrating, a little sad in a lot of ways, but for those who don't recall, Carlos Gomez and some guy named Mike Fiers were the two guys.
Why are you bringing up the bad stuff?
I hate bringing the mojo of that, but start with the bad news and bring the good. But yeah, I mean, obviously a rough trade for the Astros back in the day to get rid of a unknown at the time, Josh Hader, who clearly has had just a phenomenal career. So to say that he's an Astro again is really amazing, and not just because of the talent that the back end of the bullpen now has, as you can see in my backdrop, but really the biggest oh wow may be, like you said, and you're hinting at this, but the fact of Jim Crane and his willingness to go over the luxury tax and what that potentially signals for, the years to come, maybe. So I think that's as big of a sign as any in this signing, and the fact that This is cool. This is really cool. We update an area of need that we all knew we needed, and like you said, the Kendall Graveman situation, did that throw gas on the fire to move forward? Surely in the Astros organization, they knew Graveman was going to go under the knife and be out. When they announced all that, the timing of that just kind of coincided with about a week before this signing. So obviously deal was in the works somewhere along the way, and they knew before we knew that help was on the way. So I think it's a double exciting moment in the fact, like I said, getting the or one of the top relievers, and I can't think of a better left-handed closer reliever in the game.
That's because there's not one.
So that aside, that excitement for the Astros for filling a major need, combined with the holy cow, Jim Crane's actually freaking coming through with some cash, breaking through the tax. That's another big sign. That again, that may be as big of any.
Yeah, Dorton, thoughts?
I can't wait for game 3 of the season when we get to see these 3 studs, Abreu, and then in whatever order Presley and Hader come out.
We're going to talk about order because I'm going to tell you my order here pretty quick.
But I mean, I think that at some point it's just going to be a matter of it changes the entire dynamic of the rotation, because now we don't have to rely on Frenchie to go out there and throw, 7 full innings or, 6 great innings. He can go out there and go 4 or 5, and we can patch in whoever we need to get us to the 7th, and 7, 8, 9 kind of taken care of at this point. And so it's going to be really exciting to watch, and I can't wait. I really can't wait.
Yeah. So let me give you all a couple of numbers. I did a little homework yesterday and today. So first off, he's a 5-time All-Star. Not many of those currently around.
No,
especially out of the bullpen. Let me throw y'all some numbers real quick, and just give me your first reaction when you hear these. I'm gonna go through a list here. All right, 12.8, 15.8, 16.4, 14.7, 15.6, 14.6, 15.6, 12.4, 13.6. What do y'all notice about those numbers?
I'm guessing it's strikeouts per 9.
You got it.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
What else do you know about him? Notice about him?
All double digits, all above.
Yeah, all
what do you call it? 12?
They're all they're all within 3.5. So they're all. My point being is they're all pretty close. You got the lowest is 12.4 to 16.4. That's the lowest. That's the highest to the lowest. Those are, Neil hit the nail on the head, those are strikeouts per inning. There is nothing more important to me when you're coming out of the pen of missing bats.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no one better than this guy. His career average of strikeouts per 9 innings is 15 on the dot. A couple other numbers. We've talked about this a bunch in our previous podcast, especially during the season. WRC plus and OPS plus, basically the same. There's just a small little variable between the two, but they're very similar numbers. What the plus means is it's indexed for the major league average. So the major league average is 100. So if you're below 100, you're below average in runs created, and or OPS is on base plus slugging. If you're above 100, that means you're above average. So the further you are, the better you are. I've never seen numbers like this before in my life. So last year, his ERA plus, which earned run average, was 321. That means he was 221% higher than the average ERA. Now, there's a couple ways to look at that. One, he doesn't get as many chances. Understand that, being a closer. Also, one home run, 1 2-run base hit affects that wildly. So it's a give and take.
Mhm.
You would think that 321 last year would be his career highest. It's not. In 2021 with Milwaukee, it was 338.
Mm.
Now, I'll break this down. 2 years ago, when he first was traded to San Diego Padres from Milwaukee, he had about a 6-week span that was the worst of his career. And his career ERA is 2.5, and his career ERA plus for his career is 169. If you take that 6-week span out in San Diego when he was first traded over there, his career ERA would be 2.04. Look, I'm well aware ERA is not the end all and be all. My point being, though, is he misses bats. He's tough to hit. He's one of the hardest pitchers to face. And I'm still shocked that he is an Astro. And to Neil's point, or what we brought up, that Jim Crane went over the luxury tax. All right. You're the manager for the Astros. Who's your 7th, 8th, and 9th? Dorton, I'm going to start with you.
Pretty easy for me. It's going to go Abreu, Stressley, Hader.
Neil?
I'm obviously Abreu is your 7th, but I'm flexible on those two guys. I think it could be what part of the lineup are we in? Now, I don't know. I mean, that's a lot to ask. I mean, because a closer needs a closer mentality, and he needs to feel like he's closing a game. And I don't know if that's doable. I don't know if you can have 2 closers. It's like having 2 quarterbacks, perhaps. I mean, if you got 2, you got none. And if you got 2 closers, you might have none either. And I'm not sure that either one of those 2 guys, not that it's their fault, but can both of those guys balance a situation to where, hey, we need Hader in the 8th more than the 9th because of lefties and righties, and I don't know if that's possible. But if you're asking me to make a drop dead decision, I'm going Presley and then Josh Hader.
Valid point. I don't think you're going to see flexibility. I don't think Espada wants flexibility. Espada said that he wants to find roles. They've already asked him. For some reason, they went and talked to Preston to make sure he was okay with this deal. I really don't care.
That's interesting.
I mean, I'm sure that was like, well, we've already done it, but are you okay with it?
Yeah. I mean, it should be one of those.
Sorry,
hey, Ryan, you're good with this, right?
I could see that more. I could see that more with the guys like the 7th and 8th, Neil. You know, maybe you flip those guys based on matchups and so forth. But the 9th inning needs to be the guy that's career batting average against is 156.
Oh, I agree. I mean,
and I didn't need to pull up articles off different websites. You know, that some people claim we need to. I just used Baseball Reference and Major League Baseball stats. And when your career batting average is 156, you need to be the closer. And when your strikeout ratio is on average 15, you need to be the closer. So if
Yeah,
it's up
I
to
mean,
me, if it's up to me, I put in Abreu probably in the 7th, then Presley, and then Hader.
yeah, I mean, prove us wrong. I mean,
Right,
right? I
right,
mean,
right.
prove us
Yeah.
wrong on
Yeah.
that deal. I mean, it sounds amazing. What a luxury to have to talk about who do you want in the 8th and who do you want in the 9th. I mean, what a great deal. I mean, I did a little digging on Hader too. I mean, he's got 4 Major League Baseball records. Most consecutive outs via the strikeout, which is 16. Most consecutive hitless appearances, 12. Yes. Fastest player to
Yeah.
reach 400 strikeouts, which he got done in 234 and 2/3 innings, and most consecutive saves to start a season, which is 18. So to again prove us wrong that he doesn't belong in the closing spot. I mean, tremendous talent. Just an exciting week and
Well,
exciting
we
few
were
days.
short. We were obviously short on Penn before Kendall Graveman got hurt. And then when he got hurt, we definitely were. We've always been short on lefties out of the pen, and now we have a wipeout.
Oh, yeah.
Now we have wipeout lefty. What do you think this says moving forward for Jim Crane? And what I mean by that is, like, I broke down real fast. This is not official or anything like that. You know, we're probably about 6 or 7 million away from the next threshold, which means he will pay more. So I don't expect us to like shoot the moon. Also, because next year I believe we're going to have a lot more room to sign someone, and we'll get to that here in a minute. But the message being sent, because the Astros have never done it, is we are going to win and do everything we can this year. We've just signed the best reliever on the market, one of the best in baseball. Let's go. And I'm going to get into that. Why I ask about that is because I broke down the roster a little bit, and it's based on my, funny math and funny, not knowing a pre spring training, how everything goes. I think there's 3 roster spots available on the 26-man roster. And I'm after the Hader deal, I think there's probably a pitcher, maybe 2, but I'd said 1 pitcher that I think is up for a grab spot. I think
Starting,
we probably need to.
You're talking
No,
about starting or relief? Okay.
Yeah, I'll break it down if you want me to. I mean, I've got it all written down right here. But I think we need 1 more outfielder or an outfielder that we don't know that's going to make the team, and then I think there'll be an infielder that we don't know that's going to make, someone that's going to
Sure.
fight through spring training. So what I wrote down, and you guys claw through it, poke holes in it, disagree, whatever, because again, we don't know how spring training is going to go yet. But going into spring training, I have starters: Verlander, Fromber, Javier, Urquidy, and Brown. I have Frenchie as my swing guy who can be in the pen and can spot start. I think he's going to make the team, is what I'm getting at. And I'm taking 13 pitchers to start the year, and
Okay.
that's the max you can have out of 26, just for reference, because you're probably going to do some 6-man rotations and so forth. He's into it. So relievers, I have Presley Abreu, some guy named Josh Hader, Rafael Montero. I have Dylan Coleman that they traded for, going to make the team. Now, that's based on how he does in spring training.
Sure.
And then I have Ronel Blanco, one of Mason's favorite players, going to make the team due to his flexibility of being a starter and a long reliever.
Yeah.
And then that leaves me 1 spot pitching. Then for infielders, obviously.
Wait, well, did you forget about Did you forget about Belak or not?
No, I didn't forget.
Okay.
I didn't forget about him.
Okay.
Infielders: Altuve, Abreu, Bregman, Pena, Dubon. Outfielders: Jordan, Chaz, Myers, Tucker. So that brought catchers Diaz and Cantini, who we signed from the Brewers, who, by the way, has caught Josh Hader before. I think that's interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Good point.
Yeah. So that brought me to 23 players that I think are going to make the roster right now. So that would leave me a pitcher, an infielder, and another outfielder.
So yeah, because you are. I'm gonna start on the infield.
Yeah.
And
That's why I
had
brought
to
it up.
ask, yeah, if is Singleton in the majors next year, it's opening day.
You better have a good spring.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now
he's got to be close to, if he doesn't make the team, like that's it.
I mean, he's one of the he's definitely one of the players that has a good spring, no doubt. Because if you look at that list, Neil, we don't have a backup first baseman.
Right. Well, the one guy that has experience is also our catcher now.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say experience, I use that loosely because
So
that's obviously the spot.
I think here's the issue with Singleton, other than everything we know.
Yeah.
Is he only can play first and can only DH. I'm one of those that likes versatility in those spots.
Sure.
There's not a lot of versatility there, but we don't have anyone else who can play it. So I definitely think he's on the list of, hey, he needs to have a good spring and he can be on the team.
Yeah.
Or make the squad.
Yeah, I mean, and your past guys of Kessinger.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, he's one that's floated a little bit. I know I'm missing somebody.
Well, he has versatility. He's
Yeah.
just not going to hit. He's just not going to hit.
Yeah, because you've got Dubon who can play second, short, third,
Center.
I guess, if you had to, and then obviously the outfield positions, right? Which is where you kind of listed him more as a backup outfielder. I think you did. Maybe you said infield.
No, I had him in infield.
You had the infield. Okay.
Yeah.
And he's, yeah, I mean, he's, I guess you could say then your fifth, so to speak, outfielder. And I mean, he's Gold Glove winner, right? So, I mean, you feel like getting him on the field is going to be necessary in some form or fashion. Which again, and I hadn't thought about this, but I guess, well, I was going to say, if we traded Myers, I mean, there could be your starting left fielder if you really wanted to, him and Alvarez every now and then, but then you're locked in a little bit to him being an outfielder. And
with the signing of Hader, I don't think we're trading Myers anymore.
Why is that?
Because what did we talk about last episode? We needed a power arm out of the bullpen. Like I think I said, my first thing would be a power arm out of the bullpen or a controllable starter. Well, we got the power arm out of the bullpen because I didn't think we were going to sign someone for $95 million, right?
Yeah,
right.
For real.
And we got the best one. So unless the deal is just like a major league ready infielder and a bullpen pitcher, I don't think we're trading him.
Yeah.
Like I think Myers now becomes almost, don't shop him. Let someone come to us and let it be a sweet deal.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying. I still feel like, and maybe that's more the scenario now, is that we don't have to feel like we're in the market to find somebody versus somebody's in the market for him.
Oh, we talked about it. He'll have value, but I think we need to have someone in spring training come to us. It's like, we don't have a center fielder.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Sure.
Dorton, thoughts on?
Well, I mean, you bringing up the Myers trade now has me thinking, like, what? I don't know. Why wouldn't we?
Okay. So,
yeah.
Well, I wanted it out of the necessity of more pitching. Well, okay, that's off the table. I mean, you never have enough, right? But we did sign Josh Hader. So let's assume Myers is traded for a bullpen piece and a prospect. What happens if Chaz? So then your starting outfield's Chaz in center, Tucker in right, Jordan in left. No, we want Jordan DHing more.
Yeah. All right.
Well,
Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying. But you've got Dubon, and so if you're picking up another Dubon type player, and I can't off the top of my head name you one right now that would fit the bill, but I mean, if you traded Myers for another utility infielder, so that if Singleton doesn't perform and you're not impressed with Greg Kessinger or whoever else is behind that, again, I'm not promoting that. I'm just saying I guess there could be that possibility out there that exists for that.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't trade him for a utility infielder. I would trade him for an infielder prospect that's ready to play in the majors. Like, he has more value than just like another Dubon because of, like we said, of the position that he plays. So if I'm the Astros, I'm looking at what I need: a power arm again, and I mean, you'll always take another bullpen
Sure.
arm,
Yeah,
and
I'm not
then
against the pitching.
and then a major league ready, meaning young infielder that's ready to play in the majors, a high prospect, because that's the value that he has. And I'm not taking anything less than that because we're devoid of infield prospects. If someone wants a center fielder that bad because he is a high-end defensive center fielder, then you're going to pay for it. Give me one of your best infield prospects that are ready to play, and then a bullpen piece. And that's probably a deal that can get done. But I'm not budging off that. If you can't meet my demands, or because I'm in a point of leverage now, okay, well we'll roll into it with this.
Yeah, and
names,
I'm not like, I don't know that Brian is either saying this, but I'm personally not advocating for it.
right?
Unless
Right,
it
yeah.
makes us better.
Yeah. Well, I know, but now
Right.
but in 1 week's time, because of signing one guy, you went from probably needed to shop him to sit back and let teams come to you.
Sure.
You see what I'm saying? I mean,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
that's a difference in, I don't need to do this if I don't, like you said, if I don't like the deal, I don't need to do it.
Yeah. And I'm with you on because ultimately, again, we've got a little bit of wiggle room until we hit the second threshold of the luxury tax. And it's
Quick
not
math, quick math is $6 to $7 million. That's quick
Yeah.
math. I mean, I did that fast because
so you're not looking at some high profile player. So yeah, I mean, I'm with you on up and coming guy that can come in and fill a role. And again, I think some of that may be accelerated based off of spring training of some of these guys fighting for a spot. Because obviously the infield position of specifically first base is a area of concern.
Can I bring up one person that we could sign to not go over the threshold, the second one, and then a second person we could sign that we absolutely would go over?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, did a little homework. I'm gonna give you two. I want to give y'all's thoughts on this. So, I do believe we need more versatility in the infield, especially in the case of an injury, right?
Oh yeah.
Guess who's out there that could be under the threshold?
Who?
Big Kempin, Tony Kemp.
Oh yeah.
I'd love
Still
to bring him
left-handed.
back.
Left-handed
Yeah.
bat, speed. I would sign him yesterday.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Can play outfield, can play second, can probably play short in a pinch. I mean,
Is he still with the A's?
Yeah, but he's a free agent.
Oh.
So
Yeah,
this
we
is
need to go get
exactly
him.
what I'm talking about as far as, again, and I don't know where I fall on this right now, but if who would you rather have on your squad? Tony Kemp or Singleton or Kessinger?
Kemp.
I mean, I know what he
Kemp.
provides. I'd have to look at his numbers. I'm
Kemp.
not going to, I know I'm not going to go off
Kemp.
of just the
How do you
emotion
feel?
of,
How do you feel about it though?
yeah, I'm not going to
Kemp.
go off of the emotion of just of the past and him being a spark plug. I mean, obviously he provides, I mean, Astro fans love him. I mean,
Did I mention Kemp?
Yeah, I know, but I'm not taking that bait just blindly without looking into that more. But that is exactly what I'm talking about. That is exactly the type of guy that.
Well, I wasn't.
That
I
I'm
really
in
wasn't
on.
trying to. I wasn't trying to throw bait out there. I haven't looked at Singleton's number or Gray Kesser's numbers, and I don't need to. Tony Kemp.
Yeah, I get it. I mean,
Yeah.
what has either one of them proven?
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm with you, but I mean, what do you do with Singleton? Adios amigos. I mean,
it's 3 letters. It's called DFA.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm with you. I don't hate any of that, but I'm just not going to blindly say Tony Kemp is the savior for our problems.
You forgot. Fair, but I mean, David Hensley, he can play first. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, that's the other one I was missing.
Yeah.
That
I'm
was
sorry,
the other one.
Jana Hensley.
Well,
Okay.
took you long enough.
I know. All right, you want the outfield? You want the outfield free agent?
All right. Yeah.
This would cost us. And look, maybe Jim Crane's like, let's go over the threshold. I don't care. I've got the money. I can spend it. I mean, if you're going to sign Josh Hader, you might as well just go ahead and sign this guy, Jock Peterson.
Ooh,
Plays left field.
what's he
left-handed
asking?
bat, DH. Well, he made 19 last year.
Free agent right now?
He's a free agent. Playoff killer. Ton of success in the playoffs. Left-handed power bat. Could play left field when Jordan's not. Could DH when you're giving everybody a break. I wanted to trade for him last year when we needed a bat.
Yeah, San Fran. Yeah, I mean, think about that for a moment. I mean, he's what he becomes is Michael Brantley, and I'm not saying that they're the same. I'm not saying that they're the same, but the left-handed.
Yeah, but he actually plays.
Yeah, fair. I don't want to hate on Michael.
I don't hate him either, but the facts are facts.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. And so does he get 19? Does he get 20 in this market this year?
I don't know. There haven't been a ton of free agent bats. You know, the pitching always goes off the board first, always. Sure. So there really hadn't been a market set.
Which, you know, and I should have mentioned this earlier, and I don't want to change the tune of this, but I did some trolling with the Yankees, and I can't tell you how mad they are that we got Hader.
They're real mad.
And
why is that?
Oh, because in the heyday, they felt like Steinbrenner would just go get a guy so that nobody else would get them. And they're
real mad.
Pissed that they're and these are their words, their rival. I mean, for guys that like us who grew up at the Astros since the 80s, to say that the Astros are the Yankees rivals, that in itself is hilarious.
Correct.
It's
pretty funny.
But to hear those guys bitch and moan that their management is doing nothing. Their management is sitting there letting their rival, the Astros, go out and improve. I mean, they're living. And I thought that was funny as hell.
That's pretty good.
OPS plus last year 111, so 11% over the average baseball. Yep. 22 146. His career he's 116. So as a hitter, He is 16% over his career better than the average Major League Baseball player.
Wow.
Man, you got me fired up a little bit on this.
Why not? It's not our money.
Yeah.
And we're not just dreaming. He actually went and did something.
So
Yeah.
we were texting about this the other day, but it was an interesting conversation on sports radio yesterday about does the signing of Hader now mean that Tucker's a lost cause and there's no chance that we will ever re-sign Tucker? And I think I said, like, my initial first thought was like, oh yeah, that's probably true. But then thinking about it and like watching this unfold, like I don't think we've been in a better position to re-sign Tucker than right now, because now we know that when push comes to shove, we're willing to go over that luxury tax, that line that we have never crossed.
Right.
Before you answer, Christian,
Okay.
I'm going to say, because you'll go in deeper detail than I'm about to. I'm going to say it went from 2% to 7% chance. I just.
So you're saying there's a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance. I just don't feel like that's the guy that he's going to do it for. I mean, if he hasn't done it in the past, Morton, Cole, Correa, the Springers, right? How's Kyle Tucker different than those? Has Jim Crane changed? I don't think so. I don't think so, and that's why I'm just bumping it up a hair. I'm gonna bump it up about 5%. So, has anything changed in my mind? Signing a key player to a long-term extension, my answer right now is still no. Go ahead, Melly.
I think it's increased the chances, and here's why. And I've always said there ain't no chance. Here's why it's increased the chances, because I think it's basically knocked Bregman out of the equation. They're going to sign Altuve.
I agree with that 100%.
They're going to sign Altuve to a lifetime, an end of his career contract. It'll be both club friendly and Altuve friendly. They're going to find a way to work out something that's going to work for both parties. What that is, I don't know yet. You're going to next year, after this, after 2024, Bregman's $29 million will come off the books. So that frees up $29 million of space right there. Tucker will go from about 12 this year to about 17 next year, give or take. You've got to make a decision. Then Framber does the same, unless you've traded Framber, which he'll be about the same, 12 to 17. So I think Bregman is going to hit the market, and he's going to get a good deal for him. And the Astros are going to let him walk, sign a middle tier third baseman that'll be cheaper, go all in on pitching. And I think they have a greater chance of signing Tucker now with that money being freed up. What that number is and how to quantify it like Neil did, I'm not there yet, but I do think the chances have increased.
You think Bregman because Framber has a year past.
Framber and Tucker are the same. Yeah. I just think
we're all in agreement. Altuve's back. He's a lifelong.
Yeah,
Astro,
he's not going to go play anywhere else. He's the greatest Astro of all time. He's the greatest Astro of all time. He's Venezuelan, so he's Latin America, Central America. Those guys have made a ton of money. They appreciate money. He's going to work out a deal like they almost always do if they don't want to leave.
Right.
Yeah, it would be one of the biggest deals ever if he went, and it's going to help the Astros too because it'll be a club-friendly deal. Look,
Sure.
you got to try to sign 3 of those 4, and if you get 2, okay, but you just they don't. They're not going to be able to sign 4 of 4 unless you're what's the dude Steve Cohen of the Mets, and you just like I don't care. And if Crane wants to do that, I would salute him. I'll root him on because it's not our money. Ticket prices will then triple probably, but I don't care. Like if you're willing to do that, because we've passed something I never thought we would see anytime soon. We did that just Friday. So, but if I'm a betting man right now, I think Bregman walks. I think we sign a mid-tier free agent next year to play third base as a stopgap for whatever we have coming up, and we try to sign Tucker. I think we're definitely gonna like. I don't think it's going to be. We were never trying to sign Correa. We gave him some
Smoke
deal
and
that he
mirrors.
was never going to take. That was never going to happen. I do actually think we're going to try with Tucker. It's just a matter of the issue is whatever he's going to get from whatever other team is going to be up there.
Yeah.
Well, it never felt like we were serious about bringing Springer back, but we had Tucker in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Tucker was still in that stage. Garrett Cole, it ended kind of ugly. You know, it just ended. It ended bad.
Yeah.
So there was
we lost, and he wore an agent hat. That was done.
Right. And so I get those two, and if we can manage, and I'll admit this, I'll say that the fact that we avoided arbitration with him this year, that was a good sign.
Yeah,
that was a good sign as far as somewhat of a peace offering to say that we're giving this guy something. I mean, they come to an agreement. That's always a good thing. I just fear Kyle Tucker.
You're the odds are with you and with us saying. Sure. I just think they've increased. I will say this is different about Tucker because you brought up all the names, and all of those we've all documented. Here's the deal about Correa: injury issues. Springer, injury issues. Tucker doesn't have any.
Mm-hmm.
He hadn't yet.
Knock on wood.
Sure, but in his history, those guys had them all the time.
But now he got married.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, just like all of us, we've gone downhill. I mean, they've made us better people, but we have seriously gone downhill.
Have they?
I'm going to say yes, because we're on the air. Not that they'll hear this.
Yeah,
sure. Listening.
But just in case.
We kind of went off on the roster, which I liked because I thought it was fun. But I mean, there's always going to be a surprise in spring training. I thought when Dusty left, we would never have to see Corey Julks ever again, but he's obviously in the mix in the outfield.
Yep.
Unless you go for it. I mean, think about it. If you sign Tony Kemp and Jock Peterson along with Josh Hader, what?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Smokes. Definitely don't hate any of that. Any of that at all. I mean, Jock Peterson has me. I'd forgotten about him. I mean, I know we talked about him in late summer as a guy, but holy smokes. That would be interesting.
Well, you think about it now, we were wanting to trade him as a rental, and then he would be a free agent and give up prospects. Now you just go and sign him, don't have to give up any prospects.
Same with Hader. I mean, we were in the same boat. His name popped up. I mean, even Crane, I think, admitted him and Blake Snell were in they were in discussions and just couldn't come to it.
He's still out there.
Yes, I saw that. I did
Talk
see
about breaking the bank. That would break the bank. Any thoughts on the roster? Any more on the? I mean, anything you want to touch on Hader? It's fun to talk about. Spring training, I believe, starts on Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
I believe.
when does the pitcher's catcher report?
I mean, they'll start making their way, but they officially report, I believe, February 14th. I did see that.
Wow.
I
I
did
had
see
that
that.
somewhere.
Lance Mikmieski, whatever his name is, said that he's targeting a July return. I went, okay, bud.
Yeah. But he did say July, August is doable, I think are the exact words.
In
July, August.
2025?
Yeah, I don't know what year that was.
Lordy.
As he drank his coffee.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy
Hey,
your coffee, guy.
and just for the record, I did some digging while we've been talking. The Astros actually got Josh Hader from the Baltimore Orioles. And
Oh,
I
he
didn't
wasn't
know-
drafted?
No. So
I thought he was drafted.
The Baltimore Orioles actually drafted Hader. And that was in 2012.
2000 what?
We traded him for the Orioles traded Hader and LJ Hose
I remember him.
to the Astros in exchange for the Bud Norris. So
Hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was curious too because
What round was he drafted at with the Orioles?
19th. He signed it with the Orioles for a $40,000 signing bonus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So with
then.
this bullpen, we're probably going 162-0.
I don't see how we don't.
Or at least 160. I remember Brady's
Oh,
out
yeah.
for
Brady's
first two
out
games.
for this dude. Man, that seventh inning is going to screw us.
Yeah,
Is-
Neil.
is-
Go ahead, Jordan.
Is everyone else just like our first game against the Rangers, Abreu's first pitch? It's going in the middle of someone's back, right? Like,
Can I nominate someone needs to go to?
oh well, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like that's what everyone's going to be hoping for, right? Like right in the middle of the back.
100%.
If it's only 3 games that he's suspended, I don't hate
Worth it.
I don't hate it.
All right.
I remember being upset that Maldi didn't fall on that
Yeah.
grenade.
Yeah, he didn't.
Man, I cannot tell you on this podcast this year. I'm so excited about not having to do lineup issues with Maldi in it. That's just glorious.
Well, it's twofold. Maldi can't be in there because he's not with us, and Dusty Baker can't put him in there.
Mess it up.
Like
Yeah.
he could screw it up and still just by old habits. Dusty could just by habit write in Maldonado, and he's not even on the team. I
I know.
guarantee you that would have happened.
No, I'm telling you, somewhere or at some point when Dusty got hired on with the Giants for whatever reason, I guarantee it. Diaz woke up in a cold sweat one night after he heard that and was like, I'm gonna get traded to the freaking Giants just so Dusty can bench my butt.
I don't know who I don't
for
know
another
who
season.
I don't know who the backup catcher is for San Francisco. I got an idea who it might end up being.
Oh, I have a feeling. I have a feeling where.
Do you want a job?
Hey,
Maldi.
he signed with the
No,
White Sox.
Oh, that's
yeah,
right. he
Maldi's
did.
on the White Sox team. Yeah,
Yeah, he's trading. He's getting traded.
Oh,
him
yeah,
and Corey
yeah.
Lee. Him and Corey Lee.
Oh my gosh, that's right. Oh,
All right.
I forgot. You're right.
What about
I wanna-
Forrest? Are we going to see Forrest this year?
He's the one that I'm not going to talk about. I'm not.
Yeah,
Who-
they've at least
Who?
they've at least signed him to the bullpen.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. I'm just telling you where he's assigned.
On all seriousness, like I cannot believe there's articles out there that are counting on him to be a contributor to the major league club. You might want to start not having a career ERA in the minors of 7. Start there. Then maybe we can talk about the big club one day.
He's been in the minors now, what, 8 years? This will be his 8th year.
2000
something. I don't know.
I think he his
14,
first season
15?
was 16.
16. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he's making
You're,
a career out of it.
you're either gonna do this or you're not. Like,
Man, I saw him
let's-
pitch in the playoffs his senior year, and I was like, wow.
Well, it'd be great to have him healthy and find out. That's all I'm asking. Find out. I mean, get him healthy. Find out if he's anybody that we still need to continue to
Can I
waste
can
our
I ask
time
a
with or
question?
put our time in. I
So-
shouldn't say waste.
I was going to transition to our next our next little segment, but let's see, here we go. Like, what is there to find out?
I mean, I'd like to
Like,
know when
he's
been suspended, he's been hurt, and we've had COVID. So I'll give him the same leeway that I'm saying that we're going to sign Kyle Tucker with, in the fact that there's a chance. I'm not holding my breath. I'm just
he's
saying
never
I'd like
had
to find
any
out.
success whatsoever.
In the minors, correct. And you and I both know, or we all three know, go ahead and trade him to the whoever. Release
fine.
him.
the Padres. The Padres.
No,
Fine.
you know what happens.
He's gonna turn into a Cy Young pitcher.
Oh, it'll
As
be
soon
the
as he hits
greatest story ever.
As soon as he hits the athletics roster,
If
he is
if-
going to
if
be
the
No, the
Cy
Athletics
Cy
will
Young
screw him
pitcher.
up.
if the Red Sox call and say, "Hey,
Oh no, they're not. Nobody's
We-
calling.
we will give you a 6-pack of whatever."
Hornsby.
There you go. Niels Hornsby back in the day. You know what I say? Can you make it a 12-pack?
Yeah.
Sure. He'll be on the next plane.
Yeah, I just think he's
and one
And-
beer to be named later.
And Neil, all
one
those
Astro,
things,
1 minute made beer.
all those
One-
things that you
one dome
stated
Worth a
foam.
lot.
are all fair, but that's happened to other people too. Like, it's not over an 2-year period; it's over like an 8-year period.
I'm not holding my breath. All I'm saying is,
You would die. I don't want you to.
yes, for real. Show me a season where he's fully healthy, and
Okay. Here's
give
what
me
I
the numbers, and
want.
we'll go from there.
Here's what I want. I want first time they show him in spring training. I want him to have to face Jordan, and I want to see Jordan hit one to Tampa off of him.
Well, how about this? All right, you keep trying to transition, but I'm going to keep pulling us back.
No, that's fine. No,
How about this? How about this?
you're just our timekeeper.
We're good. Frenchie gives us 4 2/3 solid innings, but boy, he starts those BBs start landing. Right, they start
Yep.
landing. So we got bases juiced, 2 outs in the 4th. We yank him. Who we putting in to get to the 7th?
Hater.
Get us to the 7th.
Not Hater.
Well,
We're not putting in Josh
went,
Hader yet?
I went over that roster, Dorton.
Yeah.
That's Blanco-ish.
Not well. There's an option. Not Forrest Whitley. There could be Dylan Coleman. There could be Ronell Mason Blanco. There could be
Blanco territory.
Rafael Montero. There
But no,
could be
I know
Seth
that. I know
Johnny
that.
Ray Martinez.
Who are you putting in?
What is scores
But-
close? I mean, it's obviously a close game.
Close game. Base is full.
Oh, base is full.
Yeah, I
2
mean
outs?
he get 2 outs, and those BBs that Frenchie throws, they started dropping.
And this is just a normal regular season game.
Regular season game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna put
June. In June.
I'm gonna put in Rafael Montero or Ronel Mason Blanco.
Okay. Until
That changes as the year goes on and see where we are in the standings. Later in the year that changes.
you bet.
I
Put him
mean,
in, see how long we can put in Montero for
yeah.
maybe hopefully for 2 innings or an inning and a
You
half.
got and so that's a great question, by the way. It's a great topic. That's why I asked. Obviously, tight game, June.
Yeah.
You put one of those guys in then because you still have how many at bats with your own offense.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're hoping your offense can score a few more runs. If you blow one game, you blow one game. I feel more confident in Spada not blowing as many games as Dusty did. I will say this, and we'll get in more of this when it gets closer to spring training, and during spring training. I'm really hoping that we find something out of Dylan Coleman.
Yeah.
He 2 years ago he had a really good year, power arm. So we'll see. But is there anything else y'all wanted to? Dorton, hold on, let me back up. Hader can't pitch every inning.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I mean,
when can you put him in?
Should he? Or yes, he can, but should he?
Dude.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I cannot wait to see him throwing BBs from the left side. We haven't had a guy throwing BB. Oh, that's another topic. This might be an epic long podcast. Last person we had throwing BBs out of the left side like that was Billy Wagner, who, by the way, last time I checked, was 79% vote as approval for the Hall of Fame. He has to get over 75. I haven't checked in a couple of days, but it's trending the right way that he could be the next Astro in the Hall of Fame. That's really freaking cool. He belongs.
Amazing.
He belongs to the Hall of Fame. I'm sorry, he does.
Absolutely. We could dedicate a whole show to his.
Yeah. I don't know when that's cut off. I don't know when they cut that off.
Yeah, I don't know.
have that in front of me, but he was trending in the right direction. Usually, that's a good sign. Usually.
Yeah, this is it. This is the year.
Mm-hmm.
So,
anything else? I mean, seriously, we can keep talking about the roster. I'm fine with it. Well, I would say the first thing I thought of when I saw Hader, the announcement, and then it just shows him just firing all of his. The first thing I thought of was we got ourselves a big unit back up there again.
Yeah.
I mean, lanky and slinging it.
Yeah.
Love it.
I hope he hits Corey Seager right in the freaking ribs.
Fine with that. Just fine with that.
All right. Anything else for the roster? I've got it written down. I want to see how close as we get closer to spring training, see how guys are doing. We can, but I just broke that down this weekend. I want to see how close I end up getting. I had 3 spots there available, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Tell Mason that I predicted that his boy is going to make the team.
Oh, he'll be fired up. I mean,
yeah, I'm sure he will.
We were fortunate enough to see 2 of his starts this past year. It's really exciting.
All right. With that being said, we're going to move real quick over to our throwback player of the week. And our throwback player is sponsored by Victoria Equipment Auction. And the fine people there, Kenny and Kevin Griffin, have been great to us. And they sponsor the throwback player of the week. And you can call them with all your equipment needs. Or go on their website at victoriaequipmentauction.com or call Clay, who runs that site, at 361-935-2444. That is 361-935-2444. They have their next auction March 2nd. They've been growing and doing a great job. They have quarterly auctions, so contact them for anything and everything. If you're trying to get rid of inventory or just want to sell something, they will take care of it for you. They're great people there. So we thank them. And Neil, you did not tell us who it was ahead of time. So who is the throwback player of the week?
So, we've been rotating this thing, and obviously
during the off season.
Yes, during the off season. And so I, of course, lost track, and obviously it's my week. And so I've had some ideas, which is kind of what sparked a little bit of this. And so I'm going to ask you guys a question. You know, I like to do this, put you guys on the spot. Name the last, and this is more of an opinion question, so it's not necessarily factual. Name the last left-handed pitcher that we signed as a free agent, not in a trade, but as a free agent in the offseason that made a splash like this.
Made a splash like this?
Correct.
Hmm.
We traded for Mike Hampton. Right? We did.
Mike Hampton we got him from San Diego.
We traded for him. So what I'm saying is it's not a trade. I mean, not a free agent signing.
No, this is free agency.
Oh, free agency.
Greg Swindell?
Close. He was one that we did sign. You're in the ballpark.
I haven't got a clue. I don't know.
I want to get this so bad. And also think I'm going to argue with you on splash, but that's okay.
Okay, hint number one, he was a starting pitcher.
No, it goes with my Swindell.
That's why I said you were close. And I said, hint number two, you were in the park.
Yeah.
Houston area native.
Woody Williams is a righty.
From
Andy Pettit. Andy Pettit.
Deer Park.
Nice.
Deer Park.
So Andy Pettit is our throwback player of the week. And he, in my mind, was the last left-hander that made, I mean,
had World Series titles with the Yankees. Absolutely.
Correct. So, born June 15th, 1972 from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So not a native Texan by birth. 18 seasons in Major League Baseball, mostly, like you said, with the Yankees. Pitched the Astros 3 seasons from 2004 to 2006, which means he was on the first World Series team. Pettit had won World Series with the Yankees, 5 to be exact, and was a 3-time All-Star. Ranks as the Major League Baseball all-time postseason wins leader with 19. That's something I wasn't aware of.
Wow.
So he moved to Texas in 3rd grade, went to Deer Park. Obviously was a pitcher for Deer Park, and then also played center and defensive line for them in high school. Was recruited by San Jack and ended up being drafted by the Yankees in the 22nd round, but they played a little cat and mouse, basically pretended like he was going to go to San Jack, and then the Yankees ended up upping their offer to $80,000 signing bonus to get him to come along. But in 2003 offseason, he came over to the Astros, 3-year, $31.5 million contract. So that's, again, the sign of the times, right? We're talking about a 5-year, $95 million with a reliever. And here is a 3-year, $31.5 million, World Series champion. So the sign of the times, obviously, there. He actually turned down the Red Sox, if you recall that. And I remember that that being the case. Red Sox, which of course would have just, I mean, going from the Yankees to the Red Sox would have been criminal in that mindset. And back in that time, the Astros and Yankees, there was no relationship whatsoever. So the fact that he went to his hometown was somewhat okay at that time. And eventually, a month or two later, actually, Roger Clemens signed right behind Pettit.
Yep.
And so having those two guys come along, and
that was incredible.
Yeah, and ultimately propelling them to the World Series.
Yep. Also, guess where Roger Clemens played college baseball?
College?
Mm-hmm.
University of Texas?
He did. Guess where he played before that?
San Jack.
San Jack.
Mm.
Wow.
Dude, San Jack used to be loaded. Yep. Yeah, his freshman year was at San Jack, then 2 years at Texas.
Yeah. Um, one of the negative deals here about Pettit was he was on the Mitchell report and admitted to some usage of these whatever HG at the time, these steroids, the human growth stuff, and never got any punishment. And there's some diciness between him and his story and Clemens' story, and it kind of just made its way through, and nothing ever necessarily happened, I guess, in theory, because of it. Now, it may have hurt Hall of Fame chances more so of Roger Clemens maybe than Andy Pettit, but that was also a thing that, as I was reading up on him, I had forgotten that their involvement in all of that. But Pettit now, I mean, he's married, has a couple kids. Kids have gone through all three of his boys have been Major League Baseball players, or I say Major League, they're professional ball players. They haven't quite made it to the league. And then actually he has a daughter who went to college, played baseball too, but now he is actually Andy Pettit is returned to the Yankees as an advisor coach for Aaron
wow.
Boone and whatever that means. But his time in Houston was awesome. That was, I guess, the beginning of the emphasis on Houston Astro baseball. I mean, there was I know we had the lull, but the 2003 to 2005 time frame was the first match lit, and and then it got all dumped out, Loon Howe and all that stuff. But for Astro fans, lifelong Astro fans, making the World Series with Texas guys of Pettit and Clemens, and obviously the joy that we all felt for Biggio and Bagwell and Berkman to be a part of that was one of, I mean, never forget.
Yeah, that's a good one. Isn't he like one of the top? Doesn't he have the most pickoffs of all time or something like that?
Oh, maybe so. Maybe so.
I mean,
really?
I know that he used to pick off a ton. I don't know if he's been passed. At one time, he was up there.
You might be right.
He
one
had
of the things
he had that quick lefty move.
Yeah. One of the things that when he came to Houston, to honor Roger Clemens, he actually chose the number 21, which was not his number in New York.
Yeah, his number in New York was 46.
Yep.
I believe. Yeah. And Clemens then wore 22.
Correct. And so, and Clemens actually came out of retirement to come to the Astros. So he'd retired
and then had like a 1.8 ERA, something ridiculous when he came out of retirement.
Yeah. And that first year, Pettit actually got hurt and didn't finish the season, and came around, and obviously again, World Series 2005 the following year. But to me, looking back in the history of it, it was between picking Andy Pettit as the biggest splash, or I think his name was Tony Sipp. I mean, one of those two guys. I mean, it was going to be close.
Tony Sipp.
As far as left-handed free agency goes.
Oh, I thought you were trying to make a reference back to my Tony Kemp for a free agent signing that I want.
No. You remember Tony Sipp?
I remember. Okay. Yes, I remember Tony Sipp. Yeah.
He was amazing and didn't seem to cause quite the splash that Pettit did, but I'm sure it was in the ballpark.
Close. That was a good one. Yeah, he was a grinder, man. I mean, he's one of those guys you hated to face against, but you wanted him on your team, and he was just one of those. He was a grinder. I'm trying to look up. I knew he was somewhere on that list of most pickoffs of all time, but I'll have to do a little. The Yankees have retired his uniform number 46.
Really?
In 2015. Wow. Yep. That was a good one. Man, him and Clemens were both San Jack guy. God, San Jack used to be loaded. Good stuff.
Before NIL was a thing.
Well, yeah,
Right.
that too. Well, that was a fun one. Fun podcast. Real quick, and we'll wrap it up. Like, share, subscribe. We do Neil heads up stuff on social media for you to put in a code word, and the first one that does it, we send out the 2 Gringos Chupacabras out of fan favorite. So be looking for that. It just helps us. It helps us, have the ability to pop up on searches and so forth. So, man, if you're out there, tell your mom, tell your mom's mom. We really like you to subscribe. We're going to be having more guests coming in before the season starts, and it'll be here before we know it. It was a fun college football season. Now it's over. Now it's time for spring training. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm ready for baseball season now.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
I mean, the Astros are now going to be the favorites to win the World Series because they signed Josh Hader. I don't care what anyone of the pundits say. That's what I say, and that's what the Dome Plumers say. And so there you go. Josh Hader, boys. I mean, I don't think it can be quantified enough, as Neil stated early in the beginning of the recording. Hader over the luxury tax. It's a huge deal.
Awesome.
And I gotta tip my cap to Jim Crane. We've been critical. I've been critical, but he just told me, he said, "Let's go for it again." And that's what I love. Extend the golden era as much as we can.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, boys, anything else?
Shout out to Astros Hall of Fame guys. I don't know if y'all saw it was announced. Ken Caminetti, and then the Spanish radio broadcaster Rene Cardenas got nominated or
Nice.
announced as the class of 2024. So that'll be coming around this year. So that was pretty cool.
About 2034, the Dome Plumers will be in that thing. Will be nominated, so and elected. Looking forward to it. Jordan, any parting shots, D?
No, man. Good times. Like let's get to baseball. Let's go.
All right. Well, with that being said, episode 37 is in the books. Go Stros.
Go Stros.
Go Stros.